the Carla Page Show. Here's Carla.
Hi, I'm Carla. Thank you so much for watching. I'm excited about this show because this particular show is going to be honoring some of my very favorite people, and that's the veterans. This is my Veterans Day special, and I have as my guest someone that I just cannot wait for you to meet. His name is Robert Porter, nicknamed Bar, but he's also Gunny Claus. And you're going to find out all about Gunny Claus, all about Toys for Tots, all about just exactly what's going on around and about in our area where you can be a part of helping someone else. And for all the veterans out there, men and women who've served our country, I honor you, I thank you, and I acknowledge you. And from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of the world, thank you very, very much. Hi, Robert. Hi.
Hi, Carla. How you doing?
It is so nice to have you here.
It's my pleasure.
I mean that. I met Robert at the Niskayuna American Legion, which is post 1092, and it's located at 1809 Union Street, Upper Union Street in Schenectady. I went for a fundraiser one particular evening, and I met Bar there, Robert there. We got to chatting, and through my friend Rima, who was on my show in the past when she was running for city council, she introduced me to Bar, and the rest is history, because now he's on my program and we're honoring all the veterans when Veterans Day is here. But every single day, 365 days of the year, we should honor veterans. So let me ask you this. First of all, you're Scottish?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So I go to the Scottish games and wear my kilt, and I used to play paintball, and I would wear my kilt out when I was playing paintball.
Love it, love
Yep.
it. So now you are you were born in Schenectady?
Yes.
But then you live now in Albany?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so when were you in the military?
I was in the Marine Corps from 1986 to 2007.
Oh.
A little over 21 years.
Okay, and what did you do there?
In the Marine Corps, I was a military policeman, criminal investigator, drill instructor, Marine combat instructor of water survival, military police instructor, and my last job was training Iraqi police with the police transition team in Rawa, Iraq.
Isn't that something? Well, you know, it's something because my old boyfriend was a military police officer. He was in Korea. So I have some familiar background with military police. Yes, I do. So you served in the military. So then when you came out, you started doing Gunny Claus, or when did that all transpire?
I retired from the Marines in 2007, and I moved home in 2008 to be with my family. My father had Alzheimer's, and I was looking for things to do to help out my fellow veterans. And the Toys for Tots program, being that it's sponsored by the Marine Corps Reserve, I went and worked with them. Gunnery Sergeant Roman was in charge of it when Fox 225 was here in Albany. Unfortunately, soon after that, Fox 225 was moved to Connecticut, so we don't have a reserve unit here to support the program. So it's on any Marines that have ever been in the Marine Corps, any reserve Marines, or anybody who wants to help the Marine Corps volunteer with the Toys for Tots program.
Wonderful. Well, you look very sharp in your uniform. You really do. I have to hand it to you. So before we even go on, let's talk about the medals that you have. You've got a lot going on here. Let's explain to the viewers what's happening.
All right, so the red blouse isn't the typical blouse that you see Marines wearing. You're used to the dress blues. The red blouse comes from the band that plays for the Commandant of the Marine Corps and the President of the United States, respectively the Commandant's own and the President's own. And that's a very highly sought after job, similar to the Boston Philharmonic, New York City, the major orchestras and bands that you have throughout the United States. And a friend of mine who was in the Marines and was in the Commandant's own was able to get me the jacket so I could start the Gunny Claus uniform. The medals, people are impressed by them. It's salad dressing. After a while, you just, it becomes a pain to, get them and maintain them and keep them organized. But the last one on the end was my volunteer medal. So me volunteering here and when I was in the Marine Corps, that was one of the things that I'm proud of.
Beautiful. Very, very nice. Gee whiz. So now, did you go to any other countries when you were in the Marines?
When I was in the Marine Corps, I was deployed to Okinawa, Japan, and from there I was sent to training exercises in the Philippines, Korea, and Thailand.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So you've really seen a lot of this world.
Between my family and the Marine Corps, I've been to over 25 countries.
Beautiful. And I bet you probably, being in the Marine Corps was something, was there someone else in your family that was in the Marine Corps? Is that, because usually stuff is handed down, even whether it's in your heart or in your spirit, it's handed down.
The family that raised me adopted me, and nobody was in the military. In 1998, I was able to find my biological mother, and I found out that my biological grandfather had been in the Army Air Corps during World War II. Two of my uncles had served in the Army during the Vietnam War. Both of her husbands had been in the Navy, and I have a younger half-brother who served in the Air Force, and he retired as a major.
Excellent, excellent. Gee whiz. Well, if you're just tuning in, I'm Carla. This is my program. Thanks for watching. We're loving that you're watching. We're loving that you're watching every week. My very special guest is Gunny Claus. His real name is Robert Porter, but a lot of you out there know him as Bar. He's right here from Schenectady. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Gunny Claus. Then we're going to also talk about Toys for Tots and show lots of stuff. This is actually going to be our part one, because we're going to do another part where he's going to have a lot of pictures that we're going to show. But this time, we're going to let you know how you can be involved with the Toys for Tots program. Veterans Day, November the 11th, okay? So I want you to please stay with us. Don't change that dial. So you've been doing Gunny Claus for 4 years.
Yes.
So Gunny Claus is like Santa Claus.
Yes, it's the Marine version of Santa Claus. Being a Marine and still maintaining my physical fitness, I can't really be the happy, jolly, fat Santa. So that's where the Marine uniform from the Commandant's Own comes in. I was able to make the belt. I had a friend from Staten Island make the belt. The buckle is the Staff NCO brass belt buckle. 1775 is the birth date of the Marine Corps and has the Toys for Tots program logos on it. And then on the back, it actually has the name Claus, because when you're in the Marine Corps, you will stencil your name on a lot of your equipment so that, one, you know it's your equipment, and two, people know who you are from a distance, because you don't always aren't always able to see somebody's face and know who they are.
Sure, sure. So you would go to different events as Gunny Claus and hand out toys, correct?
I collect the toys. The Toys for Tots program collects toys.
Okay.
If somebody wanted a toy, they would have to find a charity, a non-for-profit that is approved by the Toys for Tots program to receive toys. We will collect brand new, unwrapped toys, any age, at the locations that we have set up. And if they wanted to, I gave you the name and address.
I'm going to read this for sure. And before I read this, now you've got Smokey sitting beside you.
Yes.
And then that red hat is actually your hat, but you've got it on Smokey. So tell us about what's going on with this lovely bear and the importance of I think young children gravitate to Smokey the Bear.
Yes. Yep.
Explain.
So this is my friend. It's the campaign mascot, the teddy bear. The Smokey the Bear is a campaign cover that I wore as a drill instructor when I was in the Marine Corps. And I was able to make it red for the Toys for Tots program. And so it has, just like everything else, it's part of an actual uniform that the Marine Corps has.
Okay, all right. So what Robert was saying is that you can be a part of actually putting together a box with toys that you can donate for Toys for Tots. You've all heard of Toys for Tots. I've worked with them in the past. It's an organization that is just excellent, excellent. If you would like Gunny Claus to be a part of whatever you're doing, and this is all year round, not just for the holidays, not just for Veterans Day or the holidays for the veterans. Now, here's how you can reach him. All right, the local coordinating officer is GY, which stands for
Gunnery Sergeant.
Gunnery Sergeant Albert Roman. And his email address, write this down, please. It's VROMAN at capitalregiontoysfortots.org. All words together. The phone number, all right, it's 518-912-1663. Again, 518-912-1663. Now, here are the areas that they serve. Now, check this out. This is impressive. They serve Albany, Broome, Clinton, Essex, Fulton, Franklin, Hamilton, Montgomery, Rensselaer, Saratoga, Schenectady, Schoharie, Washington, and Warren. Now it says December 23rd.
That's when the program, we stopped collecting toys, and we should have all the toys donated to all the charities. Unfortunately, because of weather and other circumstances, sometimes we don't get all the toys out by the 23rd. But we do make an effort to, and if we don't, we'll be out there on Christmas Day. We'll be out there getting the toys to whoever needs them.
Yes.
And if a person has toys and can't get them to by the 23rd, if they were to contact us, we'd make sure and we'd collect them.
Sure. And you can also get a hold of Gunny Claus through that information I just shared with you too. Him, and then if you want to be a part of helping Toys for Tots. You see these all over the place. These the brochures, right? They're all over, and there's valuable information that's inside that gives us more information about how you can be a part to support the Toys for Tots program. Okay, so Gunny Claus, would you please tell us what's coming up? I know that we've got a calendar of events. So much is happening. We want you to be a part of what's going on. So he's got a list of some things that he's going to share with us. Check this out.
All right, so starting on November 2nd, there is a Military Awareness Day at Crossgates. A lot of veterans organizations will be there. It's being supported by Dan McCoy, the county exec of Albany County. And the same time, that weekend, will be the craft beer and ski show at the Cap Center in Albany, and we'll be there for that.
And what are the times?
The Crossgates will be from 9:30 to 4 p.m. The Cap Center will be the times that it's open. So on Friday it starts at 6 p.m. and I believe it closes at 10 o'clock. Saturday 10 to 2, and Sunday 10 to 2 also. We'll then also have an event at GE, and that'll be at Proctor's Theater, and that'll be on the 20th November, and that's from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We have a Stuff the Bus event hosted by Sandra's Fine Jewelry.
Sure, I know her.
It is at LT's Grill, right next to Niskayuna High School, and they stuff a fire truck there with toys.
She's always involved. I see the box out there every year.
Yep, and so we'll be stuffing the fire truck there. That will be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The American Legion that you were at, where we had breakfast and we had the events, they are there supporting it. The Abate of New York, the Albany chapter, is supporting that event, and Bad Moon Riders. We held an event in, I want to say, June, where we chartered a boat on the Hudson, and we raised over $10,000 for Toys for Tots. And we're going to be supplying over 100 bicycles, a couple hundred basketballs, and a lot of other stuff at that event. At SPAC, we'll have an event. It's called Convoy for Tots. That is the 25th of November, and that goes from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Anybody's welcome to come and donate a toy there. We also have the NBA of New York, Northeastern New York. That'll be at Rivers Casino. That's on the 29th of November. And that'll be from 5:30 to 7:30. And then I'm proud to announce that we do have the Toys for Tots train on the 2nd of December. It will be starting in Binghamton and it'll be ending in Albany. We had a slight difficulty with Amtrak. They don't want to support us. And we had a kind gentleman who actually owns a train donate it to the program. So we'll have that train for one of the days. And that will be, like I said, on the 2nd of December. And it will be going from Binghamton to Albany. And the last stop is in Delansing at 4 p.m.
Wow, super. So much stuff happening.
That's so just a few of the things that are very close and local.
I can imagine, sure. Now, did we talk about the breakfast for the Iwo Jima, the 5 survivors?
Yep, I attend a breakfast. It's the second Tuesday of every month. It starts at 10 a.m. It's at the Homefront Cafe in Altamont. Cindy Pollard, who is the owner-operator of the restaurant, has the whole place decked out in military memorabilia from World War II on to honor all of our veterans. Every Saturday morning, there's veterans in there for breakfast, but this one on the second Tuesday at 10 is with 5 Iwo Jima veterans. We used to have a Medal of Honor recipient, Army, who fought in Europe, Francis Curry. Unfortunately, due to his age and health, he isn't able to attend as often as we'd like, but he's still in our heart also.
That is something. That is really, well, Francis Curry, congratulations to you. Wow, beautiful. Let me give this phone number again, okay? The phone number is 518-912-1663, or the email, if you would like to get a hold of Gunny, Claus, or just be a part of anything that's going on with the Toys for Tots project, all right? It is VROMAN at capitalregiontoysfortots.org. And you're going to be talking to GYSGT, Albert Roman.
That is also on Facebook. So if they don't have the email, they can get a hold of us on Facebook.
Good.
I'm on Instagram as Gunny Claus.
Yes.
So they can also do it there if they want to use social media.
Beautiful. Well, we all know that there's a Flag Day, there is the 4th of July, there is Veterans Day, and of course Memorial Day. And all of these days are so important and so much. And I know that I wanted so badly to talk about and show some poppies, because I'm someone who always used to buy a poppy. Can we talk about some of those fundraisers, the poppies that you see the veterans selling? You see them all the time, and also you have another fundraiser that's the Forget-Me-Nots. Will you share that with the viewers? Right.
So the poppies and the Forget-Me-Nots are hosted by the Veterans of Foreign Wars and Disabled American Veterans. We don't sell them. It's a donation. It's to raise money to support veterans. We had a veteran in Schenectady whose house burnt down and had no clothes, had no place to live, nothing. And so through the Poppy program, we were able to raise several $1,000s to put forward towards getting him a place to live, getting him some clothes, getting him some food. And the Forget-Me-Not program is similar. When a veteran is in need, we will able to donate that to them.
And then how about American for the Blind? Explain what that is.
The individuals who make the poppies for us, we don't make them ourselves. We purchase them so that we can then get donations at charity events for them. And so we don't want these things made in China. We don't want them from someplace else. So we work with disabled individuals. They don't have to be veterans. And so one of the organizations we work with is American for the Blind.
Okay. And flags on markers for Memorial Day, explain.
Saratoga National Cemetery is the local cemetery. There's over 14,000 markers there of those who have fallen. Some have given their lives in combat, others have succumbed to old age or disease. And so unlike Arlington National Cemetery, they were not placing flags on the markers for Memorial Day. So the Marine Corps League in Albany and some other veterans organizations in the area got together, purchased the flags, and created the program to have people come up and on before Memorial Day and place the flags on all the markers. And like I said, there's over 14,000 there.
Beautiful. Well, anyway, before we go on, I'm going to take a quick pause for a moment just to let all of the viewers know. And this is something I would like everybody to be a part of. On November the 19th, it's a Monday. All right, my band, the Carla Page Band, we will be back at the Rivers Casino in the Van Slyck's restaurant, okay? And we had a ball when we were there before. We had an absolute ball. So please come out. It's the Young at Heart series that goes on every Monday. So I'll be back November the 19th, 2 o'clock to 5. Please show up and just show out because we're going to have a blast. 50s, 60s, 70s music. I really would love to see you there, okay? All right? Okay. Okay, so you and I moving right along here. There were a lot of veterans that came back to the States, and they had different things going on with them, and then a lot of them couldn't find homes, and they couldn't find jobs. What is your take on that? And what was that? It was what people were coming home with.
The term that is currently used is post-traumatic stress disorder, or
Yes.
PTSD.
Yes.
PTSD is not just a military ailment. Anybody who's been involved in a traumatic incident and has been traumatized by it can have PTSD. Unfortunately, because you're in combat, the chances of seeing something horrific and suffering it increase. And so you have individuals who have problems with that. And some of it can be very mild and they can deal with it every day. Others can't deal with it. The movie Saving Private Ryan actually caused some World War II veterans to have a recurrence of their PTSD. 40, 50 years after combat, they'd never have a problem, and it just brought it back up again. And so that can cause a person not to be able to be employed because they can't function at a job every day. Or if they're trying to rent a place to live, they're trying to find a place to live, and they can have a sudden outburst that other people don't understand and are afraid of, and so they don't want to rent to them. So the statistics, depending on who you talk to, but roughly 50% of the homeless that you see on the streets are veterans.
Wow.
And unfortunately, the Veterans Administration says that currently anywhere between 22 and 20 veterans a day on average commit suicide.
Oh my goodness. Something has really got to be done about that. Gee whiz. Oh, that is so sad. That is so sad to hear.
That's one of the reasons why I try to help out my fellow veterans as much as I can. The event at Cross Gates is a good one to go to. The Elks in Colony has a stand down every fall where veterans can go and get help. If they're homeless, they can get clothes, they can get food, they can get dental checkups, medical checkups.
I've heard of those.
Yep.
I've heard of those. And I know every Friday you all meet at the Gateway Diner, right?
Yes.
At 899 Central Avenue, 8 o'clock in the morning. I was at the breakfast this past Friday, and it was wonderful. And hello to all of those fine people that were there and the staff there of the restaurant. And that's Red Friday?
Right. Red Friday is an acronym. It stands for Remember Everybody Deployed. And so anybody can wear a red shirt to signify that they're thinking and remembering those who are deployed. And it's not just to Iraq or Afghanistan. We have troops all around the world doing humanitarian missions. When the tsunamis hit Bangladesh, the military, the Navy, and the Marines went in and helped people out. Earthquakes that you hear about in South America, our troops go in and they help them there. And the breakfast on Fridays is to support sending our World War II, Korean, and Vietnam veterans down to Washington, D.C. to see their memorials. We have a flight in the spring and we have a flight in the fall.
I see. Wow, something. So you brought some visuals, so let's show what you brought us. Show us, what do you have?
Well, the gentleman who donated the train to us gave us some hats. He wasn't really too happy with the Amtrak, so he made the hat signifying his disdain for the individual who was in charge of the decision to stop the trains with Toys for Tots. So we got one of those hats from him. We host a golf tournament here in Schenectady and Niskayuna actually. And so
Okay.
anybody who gets a team together to play on the golf, this is the bag from last year. It has some other things in it.
All the golfers out there.
Yep. So,
Golfers.
Yep. So you'd get a beer koozie.
Okay.
You'd get some golf clubs. We have some magnets that we could give people,
Oh,
so they could
nice.
put it on their refrigerator or car. Generally, if we're out in an event and we're collecting toys, we'll have either some pens like
yeah.
this, or we'll have a smaller pen, a Toys for Tots pen that says Toys for Tots on it.
Beautiful.
We have some, like I said, we have a motorcycle organization
And then
that
this
supports
here?
us. Yep. This I got from the Marine Recruiters, the local Marine Recruiters. So we got a little football. You got a little frisbee if you want to go
Yeah.
play some frisbee.
Wonderful.
You have the little wristbands.
Yeah, great.
So Brunswick Hog, like I said, motorcycles help us out a lot. Brunswick Hog had their toy run 2 weeks ago in November, the end of October.
Yes.
And they had over 400 motorcycles there on a cold day, and they collected toys and cash for the Toys for Tots program. That's our biggest program.
Lovely.
And so for them, we make a patch that the individuals can then sew onto their jacket or vest to
Yes.
show that they support Toys for Tots.
That is something. I do want to acknowledge all the women that have been in the military, all women at all cultures, nationalities, creeds, colors that have been in the military. Now let's just, before we end this, and I know there's a huge St. Patrick's Day big parade every year. I know a lot of you probably from up this way attend it down in New York City. The Tuskegee Airmen. Please, before we can't close without acknowledging them. They never really got their due props, did they?
Well, prior to World War II, black units really weren't very welcome in the military. There's the Harlem Warfighters, Hellfighters from New York City that fought in World War I. But during World War II, there was the same stigma and segregation. And so this unit, the Tuskegee Airmen, was an all-black unit. They fought during World War II in Europe. They flew fighters, and they did escorts for the bombers. And they were the most successful unit in keeping the bombers safe from the German counterattacking fighters. There was also a Japanese unit in the Army that fought in Italy. Once again, a very highly decorated unit, one of the most decorated units. And they had come from internment camps because the United States was afraid that they were spies or terrorists or something else, infiltrators, and so they'd been interred in the United States. They're American citizens. And so to prove their allegiance, they fought for the American military.
You know, all I can say is Gunny, Claus, Robert, Porter, Barr, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
The utmost respect. Keep on doing what you're doing. If there's anything I can do to be a part of what you're doing, please include me.
Yes.
Include me.
Yeah.
And again, hello to all of the people that I met over at the American Legion and also at the breakfast. All right, well, it's time to wind up. Time goes so quickly. Don't forget the Carla Page Band at Rivers Casino Schenectady. Please come out November the 19th, 2 to 5, okay? In Van Slick's Restaurant. Oldies but goodies. And whatever you do, please support Toys for Tots. It's a wonderful organization, and they need you, okay? And we need them. We need them. See you next week. God bless you. Bye-bye.